Yeah, what's good, guys? Arsenal draw Everton 0-0. Sorry it's taken me a bit late to get this video over to you. Been really busy in the run-up to Christmas, so I just thought I'd fit this all in. So first of all, well done to Arsenal for going up to Everton and showing Arteta something and giving your swan song to Ljungberg. Because I tell you what, Ljungberg's had a crap show to deal with, all in front of him, and had no support, and just being able to try and change something, yeah, over the little time that he had to get a result out of these guys. And realistically, with Arteta coming into the locker room and talking to the guys on top of what Ljungberg did, Ljungberg took off Ozil and didn't like the way how he reacted, so he didn't take him. And guys, look, that's the way how this thing's going to rock. That's the way how this thing's going to move forward. You move forward with synergy and commitment and passion for the club. Prepare to work hard, put a shift in, and your name will be on the team sheet. And that's how it should be. That's how it should have been going all the way back from Wenger. Because Wenger put some of these guys on the pitch that shouldn't have been there. It was pure favoritism. And like I said, I don't know what was going on with Emery's team sheets coming off the back of last season when we lost 3-2 at home to Palace. That just killed his career. And Freddie's first two games, putting them degger players on there that had let everybody down. Look, Arteta's starting on the right foot. And that's what you need. Set the precedence that effort in this week's training, commitment to the cause and the system will get you playing time. If you ain't doing any of that stuff, you're going to be riding the bench like a bicycle. Yeah? It's as simple as that. Don't even try to play the system. If you start acting up, you're on the bench. And we can already see the fact that they left out Ozil with the fact that Pepe can't get a game. Although I don't know what's going on there, because when he's on the pitch, my man's dynamite. But then Lacazette as well. We're already starting to see some of these changes bear fruit with what Freddie did. And no doubt they've offered Freddie a part of the team. Freddie loves the club. I'd be very surprised if he went and took another post. But then again, there's the development aspect of it. He can go be a boss somewhere else and then learn the trade. Now he's had a taste of it, it's very difficult to give it up. So maybe he might want that. I don't know. Maybe he might want that. But, you know, him and Mertesacker had a duty to do before all this stuff happened. Now, in regards to the Everton game, it's hurt me to see some of the reactions on the fans from Twitter. And, you know, I don't know whether these are privileged fans or whatever, but these guys are down in the dumps and they needed to put a performance together and they're low on confidence. And when you hear some fans go, we were shit, we were crap, it's not good enough. Come on, man. One of you guys, look, lower your pride, be humble, and start to wear your heart on your sleeves because this team needs your support. Forget about what you want, yeah? And think about what the team needs. The team needs your support at the moment. I don't know. Look, every fan has got a choice. You're well within your rights to say what you want to say about the performances. I get that. I respect that. But when it comes to the three words I keep saying to you, back your team. Yeah? Just back your team. Regardless how you feel in your heart, or if you were disappointed in a result or whatever, it don't mean that you should be supporting the club any less. Or this really comes down to expectations. And I talked about that in my last video. This is poison for you. If your expectations is still up there, top four and everything, time for you to let that go. Because the only person that you're going to disappoint as a fan is yourself. This team right now needs support. They need help. They are not good enough to get in the top four. So, you know, park that for a second and think about the greater good. Think about the badge and support your team. For crying out loud, support your team. So, guys, there's a performance at Everton. We saw a skip in a step of some players. Chambers was fantastic. Torreira was my man of the match. The way he threw his body around to block shots was just tremendous. And he's been doing that for a few games now. I've given Torreira a shout out for a few games. But these are the guys that are the unsung heroes. These are the guys that are going to be a part of the change. Because if you're playing like that, if you're playing with abandon and commitment, then the manager's going to see that. And you're going to be on the team sheet. And you're going to provide the blood and sweat and the passion and the commitment that the manager wants to see. That's what he wants to see. He's trying to get a reaction here. And some of these players were reacting even when things weren't going well. So we can depend on the likes of those guys, Chambers, Torreira, when Kolasinac comes back. But really, really let down in Aubameyang's performance. It just wasn't, hardly any touches. I posted his activity in the first half. Literally 0 touches, 0 commitment. The ball was playing through. Martinelli had a few good crosses. Nobody was on the end of it. And as a striker, you've got to be reading the game and making an effort to make those runs in the box. Nothing. But you know what? I respect Aubameyang. Yeah, bro. When you sit down and you have time to talk to Arteta this week, tell him what's in your heart and tell him what you really want. Because if you don't want to be here, let the man know early. Don't drag your feet and say, and wait till next summer and then make your mind up that you want to go to a bigger team. It's all right. Tell the man what you want to do, because as long as Arteta knows, then he's good. He can make changes. So that's positive. It was our first clean sheet since the Bournemouth game. Yeah? Away from home since Newcastle. So there are some nice little early signs that you can get to understand what the expectations are with these changes. And he's going to need help from everyone, fans, players, coaching staff, everything. And speaking of coaching staff, there is the former Manchester United and Everton assistant coach, Steve Round. He's set to join Arteta's backroom, and that would be a welcome addition, because again, we're talking about coaching, we're talking about transparency, and we're talking about letting the players understand what's going on. And they clearly didn't when Unai Emery and Juan Carlos was there. A lot of things was lost in translation. We talked about that a lot. And we just want a clear message to implement some structure so that the players can go out there and show their stuff. That's all we're asking for. So that's part of the changes, which I think is very positive. And all of this goes within the fact of Arteta trying to restore the identity. And that's his primary job, really. And Callum Chambers came out with that when he was in an interview. And he said that's what Arteta is here for. He's here to restore the identity of the team. So it's nice for a young player to be talking on those vibes, because he understands. They all do. They all know what's going on. And you know what? If you're a serial offender or you're guilty of dragging your feet, you're going to get found out. With the technology around, with heat mapping and all the kilometers run, the coaches know whether you're working hard or not. This isn't a question for the coaches. Yeah? It's rhetorical. They already know the answer before they ask a man whether he's committed or not. Because the numbers and statistics will show them who's been running, who's been tackling, who's been doing what they're supposed to be doing, who's been creative. Them man know already before they even ask the question. And this is one thing, Arteta made a comment over the weekend where he said, I want to meet the players and I want to look them in the eye. When he said that, I was just like, geez, man, this guy is going to look you in the eye to see if you want it, to see if you're hungry. And if you ain't, bye. It's one of them thing there. You know, they're already looking at Bayer Leverkusen's Kevin Volland as well. And that news broke with Sky Sports. And remember, this is important because I talked about when Arteta interviewed for this job before Unai Emery, and he wanted a lot more of a staple say in what was going on in the front office, and they weren't promising that. It seems, as I predicted last week, that this was something that was agreed. It was agreed through Raul Sally in the first meeting that he was going to be a part of the process. Now, being a part of the process and being the process is two different things. And I covered this before when I said Wenger had too much power, Emery had none, and Arteta just wants to have a little bit in between. He wants to be in the know-how, and he also wants to be on the scouting prowess. He wants to be able to do his own research, because he knows what style he's looking for. So if that means we have to let go a few players, then we're after some players in Europe, or the likes of Ryan Fraser, which I'm hearing Ryan Fraser is back on the mix again in the new year. So they definitely like what they see from the man from Bournemouth. And it really all depends on the ins and outs. I mean, letting go a few players, we are going to generate a bit of money, and that's going to make you more flexible than what you want to be. But Arteta knows what he's looking for, so you've got to back the man and try and get him the players that you can get. And I'm not talking about shopping at Primark to get Harrods players. Yeah, that shit don't work. We've seen free players come in here on free transfers and 5 million and 8 million and all this stuff. And then we're seeing what the likes of Socrates and them guys are doing. It's showing what their value was. They had low market value because they really weren't good enough. And it shows. And sometimes your good scouting reports show as well. All the scouting they did on Guendouzi, but again, that's a Michelin tactic, isn't it? So you can big up a man for Torreira and all them guys. Edu Martinelli, that's a proper scouting thing right there. Yeah? Arsene Wenger, Rob Holding, that's a proper scouting thing right there. So things like that, you can see where the coaching staff have done their scouting and investigations because of those players. So that's what I would like to see, and I'm glad Arteta's going to be a part of it. So guys, listen, a lot of things coming up now. We got some nice pictures from the training that was on Sunday where Arteta took the reins, and I like what I see. And again, I just want to see some footage now. Nice to show us the pictures, but we're the fans. We want to see what's going on. We want the hearsay, and we want to see the motions, because we like reading the body language, yeah? And we like seeing those players when they're having fun as well, when they're putting in work. Because that's what we saw a lot of last season when we were on that nice run. And the players were having fun because they were working hard, they were committed. We need to get that back. So guys, I'm going to leave it right there, man. We've got Bournemouth on Boxing Day coming up soon. That's going to be a tough one away from home. But again, and it's an away game. It's a game that we have to show some commitment with, because that's our forte, letting in goals away from home, not getting wins away. So let's see what happens here, man. Let's see a proper reaction now that Arteta's got his foot in the door. Let's see if he can make some instant changes and if the players can react. If I don't catch up with you guys, have a great Christmas. Thanks for supporting the channel. It's been a big year for the channel. It's really taken off. And I wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and hope Arsenal could give Arteta a nice Christmas present. Speak to you later, man. Right back at you. Peace out.